All right, hey everybody. No montage today. We're just going to jump right into it. So I left the Lost Temple of Kazakh-Thul, and I ran my way across the Firat to Inithul Swamp, across Inithul Swamp into Upper Guk. The live frogs in Upper Guk are friendly to us, so I just kind of walked past all of them into Lower Guk. So I'm at the dead side. So I'm at the dead side entrance to Lower Guk. The map has the Z height filter on here, but if I turn it off, I can see where I'm at. We're going to make our way into the dead side here, and we are going to head first. All right, so I'm going to make my way first down here to the Ghoul Assassin area, and from there, here's the Assassin here, and from there we're going to go down deeper into the next level down, into this area. We're going to hit the Sentinel, we're going to hit the Frenzied Ghoul, we might hit the Archmage if we see him, Reanimated Hand, and the Ghoul Lord. And that's going to kind of be what we're going to do for the next couple of levels. So I've already been down here for a couple of levels. I'm 41 now. I've already gone ahead and set up the buff and fight spell sets. So that's all set. And that's our route. So we're going to try to get to about, I think we're going to go for like 44 or 45 down here. 43, 44, 45. I may not record all of it, but I wanted to get some of it and kind of show what we're doing. I haven't actually tried soloing the Ghoul Lord yet. I'm pretty sure it's very doable with this setup. I've just been kind of out here getting experience for a couple of levels, so I didn't want to do too much of the cool stuff off camera. So with that, we're going to head in. I can walk past the live frogs, like at the end of the hallway here, and I can, and then I can invis undead past a lot of the dead frogs to get to the area we want to go. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on doing a tour of Guk. There are a lot of videos out there of people in Guk if you want to see more. Maybe after I make level 50, I'll come back and do more of a tour and show off more of it. It's a very, very cool dungeon. If you've played a lot of Everquest, especially Classic Everquest, you've spent a good amount of time in here already. In my other series, my Swamp Monster series with Grinch, I have spent a ton of time, all my time in Guk for the last several levels. By several, I mean 30-ish levels, starting at Upper Guk and in Lower Guk. All right, so I'm going to start off with enabling a personal instance here and just leave it on 0 because we're just trying to level up right now. If that gets too easy, my next instance, personal instance, I'll jump it up to 2 or something like that, and we'll check that out too. All right, so here we are in our personal instance. All right, it's a 0 level instance. I'm going to go ahead and get buffed up real quick. Like I said, I did go ahead and already update the buff list for the couple of levels I made. And our goal is going to be to get from the assassin. Obviously, we want to try to get the mask. Although why we'd want to look any different than this, I have no idea. It looks amazing. This armor also looks awesome on a dark elf, so we'll probably pop over in a dark elf form and just check it out, just because. Assuming we get that from the assassin, of course. So let me quick buff. Jump back over to our fight setup. I've got a couple of buffs, I think, left from... I ran around in here for a little while with Wreck-It Rogue, and I end up with Blessing of the Lord Commander from him, and maybe some others that are still ticking. It was just us goofing around. I wasn't recording. It might show up on his recording. I wasn't recording. I'm going to hit one level of shrink, and then I'm going to throw Invis versus Undead on here. All right, and we're set up to move on. So while we're going, so you can see like these guys, just real quick, the live frogs, they regard me as an ally because I've killed a bunch of the undead frogs. I don't necessarily want to fight these guys up near the front, so I'm just going to invis undead and run past. Ooh, did a crazy turn there. Taking a right at the bottom. These are undead frogs, ghouls. I saw there were some patch notes today. I haven't checked them out yet, but I'll take a look at those and see if there's something worth sharing sometime in this video. I think starting right here we can fight. We'll fight these guys. We'll fight our way up into this is the assassin and supplier area back here. We'll fight these guys in here. And we'll go from there. I don't think we need to do anything else to be ready. Yeah, we're good. We'll just get into some fighting. All right, yeah, so I just got another AA point. So that puts me up to 12 AA points. I should take a look. I haven't decided yet on what is next for alternate advancement. One thing I did do that I should share, I just wanted to kind of get into the fighting and get things moving here. But one of the things I should share is I did pump up the armor a little bit. I talked about it in the last episode about using my motes to kind of pump up the new armor. So I've got most things up to, I've got the, let's see, the greaves, the chest, the arms, the helm, and the gloves up to +4, and I didn't quite have enough to get the boots beyond +2, so we're going to be looking for some motes. So that's another reason to do a higher level personal instance after this one, maybe to try to get some of those, you know, +3, +4 motes so I can pump that up a little bit. But the stats are really good. I'm super happy with it. It's probably still slightly worse than what we had before, but it's not too far. It's not too far. Like the pristine studded leather here, if you look, it's AC 18, stamina, and dex. And these are now AC 18, stamina, more stamina, but no dex. Save versus magic, save versus void. So, like, they're close, right? They're pretty close. And they look just way better. So, as I said last time, Fashion Quest first. So, this is the assassin camp. And somebody talked about making sure that when I'm fighting a whole bunch of guys, I have the extended targets window open. So I will do that after this fight. I don't remember what the hotkey setup is for that. That's male. I'll find it though. And I'll just kind of drop that over to the side here so that I can see, because a lot of these hallways we're going to be pulling a whole bunch of guys and fighting them at once. This build is very single target focused, but I can stand here and take on a whole bunch of guys at once. So that's what we're going to do. I need to remember that I can click my Blackened Alloy Bastard Sword to remove buffs as well. So let me sort that out real quick with the toggling the extended target window. Alright, so now I've got the extended target window out here. I don't know if I'll need to expand it or not. We'll have to play around with it as we go and kind of find it a home on the UI. I just put it next to this whole setup here for now. So after we killed the assassin, we can go, this is up here, we can go back here and go up this ladder, and we can fight these guys. These guys are light blue. Okay, so we're going to want to go down further. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty easy to see. That's nice. A lot easier to switch between the targets real quick to kind of figure out information about them. I don't know much about this. I don't know much about this whole window setup, so I might need to just look at what all is here. Okay, I can play around with that later. Let's keep in after. So just real quick, since I talked about the armor, I just want to show them all real quick. Just realized I kind of moused over real fast. So Darkforged Gauntlets +4, getting up there. AC 16, Dexterity 6. Really nice. We already looked at the legs. The arms, AC 15, Strength, +8. Chest is AC, and you got stamina and save versus magic. The helm is AC 18 and intelligence. These are all great stats for us. And then the boots are AC 13 and +5 stamina, and I put the boots of the long road in there. Although I have Spirit of the Wolf all the time, I'm just moving that that little exaltation forward. We're gonna stick with this setup for the time being. So if we go down here, we can make our way towards some of the other named spawns. All right, so you can come down this way from the assassin area and make your way around. There'll be a few more guys to fight in here. This is where it'd be nice real quick to just flip through them and see who's what. So they're all just warriors, which makes sense because I'm in D0. So they're not going to be super difficult. There is a bonus for experience in the higher level difficulties. It's just usually what I've been finding is it's faster. If you can kill a whole bunch of things, it's faster than... If you can kill fast enough, it's better to be on the lower difficulties if you're just looking to get experience and to level up. So as your time to kill gets a lot faster, you definitely want to pump it up and get those bonuses. We did get a new heal spell, so we have Spirit Salve now, which is Spirit Salve. I think I've always just said Salve. Salve. I grew up in the Midwest. Maybe that's a problem there. I don't know. But we got a better heal now, so it is pretty nice, and we put that to proc on our Reeve. I'm sorry, not Reeve, on our Spellblade. But I did just think of Reeve and realize that sometimes my skills like to turn off when I switch. And I think I mentioned this in all the videos. Okay, they didn't turn off this time. Sometimes when I've switched loadouts, if I don't have that class in here, those skills don't turn back on when I come back. But things are constantly getting better and better and fixed so fast that a lot of those little janky things are just gone after a couple of days. And I don't even necessarily realize it in the patch notes or anything. It's just like, I'm like, hey, what happened to that thing that used to happen? And it's not broken anymore. They're working super fast. They're getting a ton of stuff done. It's pretty awesome. We'll make our way around here once. During these battles, I might just pop up this alternate advancement window and start thinking about that a little bit. I have 12 points to spend. One I've been thinking about is the fear resistance, because I have the first 2 ranks, which make me 50% resistant to fear. And I know once I get around to where I want to fight Lady Vox, especially, there's a lot of fear spells in there. And it can get real annoying, so I think cranking up like fear resistance all the way could be helpful. I already got Steadfast Will maxed out. What do we got? Eye of Erd. We will just auto sell those. Sold it for free. Yeah, they're not worth anything. Just looking real quick. Critical damage spells. I mean, double riposte could be cool. Do some extra damage. Actually, let's go ahead and get double riposte. We've got a few more levels before we're ready to try to take on Vox, so I think this could be helpful, especially when we're taking on a whole bunch of enemies. And we are using a slow two-hander, which makes riposte even better. The first one took 3, the second one takes 6, and that will... Let's just go for it. And the third one takes 9, so it might be a little while on the 9, but that's all right. That'll bump us up to... That'll double our current chance to double riposte. So that's kind of this area here when you first come down, and then I usually just jump down this pit right into this this area here, which lets us go for the Cavalier. And this room always has a ton of fun in it to fight all at once. Oh, looks like I thought I was going to accidentally get everybody in that room, but when that guy ran up behind me. But usually if you pull this, you get, 4 or 5 things. So that's awesome. Getting hit from behind, yeah. Yeah, another reason the extended targets window is nice. You can actually see that I got into combat with another guy behind me. All right, you guys in the comments? Maybe when I'm editing, I'll try to throw your comments up here. I really appreciate that recommendation that I should have the extended target windows up. Extended targets window up. You were not wrong. And I've put it up, I had it up before. I had it up one time when I was fighting Vox with the other guys in the guild, and I don't know if I turned it back off or if it changed on my loadout, because I switched loadouts. It's probably up in my Paladin loadout or something. But I hadn't really thought about it, and it does make a big difference, so it's very cool. Also, someone mentioned in the comments that for the Kanos Kite Shield, I can actually buy it from the Barbarians and the Karanas. I think it was in the Karanas, they said. I don't have the comment in front of me, but I had never even considered that you could maybe buy that shield, because the last time I did the quest, I was an ogre, and none of that was available. I just went and killed guards for a while. In fact, I killed a lot of guards, a lot of Kanos guards. So I think I did that for a couple of levels of experience. So I didn't even think about it. In my head, it was just, yeah, go kill a guard. You get it. But I could have saved myself a little bit of faction hit if I'd thought about going to buy it, or maybe done a little research to see if it was for sale somewhere. But hey, we got it done. We got the armor. We're not KOS to Kanos. We're all right. We're all right. This shows light blues. Is that this? Oh, I looked right at these guys and didn't even pull them. Yeah, I said at the beginning, the goal is going to be to get up into the mid-40s, 44, 45, 46. Maybe not 46, but somewhere around 44, 45. And then we're going to go for a little run. We're going to run our way over to Nagafen's lair, Soul B, over off of Lava Storm Mountains, kind of where we were for the Soul A adventure, the Seleucix I adventure, and then the temple where we got the armor. The other entrance over there is for Nagafen's lair. We're not going after Nagafen right away, but we can get in there, and they made it possible now so you can actually make a solo instance. All the places that there are raids, so the whole Kedge Keep, Soul A, or sorry, Soul B, and Permafrost. I think that's all of them. Yeah. All those zones can now be, you could actually make a personal instance of them. You just don't have the boss available to fight. So you don't have the raid boss available to fight. So that's pretty nice. You have to do the raid boss as a separate setup. You can make a solo instance for the raid boss itself, which has some of its local mobs up, and you can make a group raid instance for the bosses, but you can also just make a solo instance of Soul B just to do some leveling and stuff like that. So we're gonna head into Soul B, and we are going to level up in there, probably some giants, some imps, something like that. So it's kind of a combo episode of both Lower Guk for a few levels, and then over into Soul B. So we're going from undead to fiery enemies. And we'll do that. And my plan is to take that all the way to the high 40s. Definitely beyond 46. And once we get past 46, I'm thinking about like maybe level 48, depending on how slow the experience is over there. I'm gonna end up talking myself to death over here. Didn't realize the wizard was nuking me. That was my bad. It says wizard right there. So I'm gonna take that all the way up into the high 40s, and then we're gonna start messing around with dragons and planes and stuff like that. So we're going to do what we can. If that stuff ends up being a little too difficult, then I'll finish out the run to 50, and we'll approach it that way from level 50. But for now, I just want to get up that high, pick up some of the drops from here in Guk. Specifically, I'd like to get the flowing black silk sash, and I'd like to get it leveled up to level 4 plus. That would be one of the goals before we head out of here. So I am going to head for the Frenzy. So we have the Frenzy and the Sentinel over here. We're going to make our way up into here. We may not go back for the Assassin too often, but I do want to, like I said, I do want to get a Master Drop so that I legitimately have it on this build. And then I can play around and use it whenever I want to. We do have Shrink available, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. But we'll check out the Sentinel, we'll check out the Frenzied, but then kind of going from the Frenzied up to the Ghoul Lord and back is not bad. That's kind of a cool route. And if it gets to where I just want to hit the bosses as much as possible, I could just invis undead, past everything, fight, and just hit each of the bosses and go around that way. I think I'd probably think about doing that as I get up to, a couple more levels into 43, 44 range. And then I can just kind of farm the bosses for a little while and not worry about leveling so much, because I know the next part is to jump over to Soul B. I think that'll kind of be the plan. And I'm currently working on a montage song. I don't know. I'm hoping I'll have it done in time, but I still want to, like I said, I want to get the content out a little faster. So I don't want to slow down too much. I want to try to keep moving. And get these out the door. So hopefully the song will be ready. If not, we'll find something. We'll find something. Can always take one of the old songs and remix it or something, you know? Who knows? The title of this episode is going to be Relentless, because we are relentlessly walking our way through these dungeons on our climb to power. And if all goes well, I want to get into some attempts at killing dragons. I think that would be a lot of fun. Not in this episode. That would be in the next episode. This episode is the big push to get to those levels where that's even possible. All right, making my way up to the frenzied ghoul here. Probably time-lapsed that a little bit or jumped it. There's just a lot of fighting blue cons. So there is a frenzied ghoul up. There's a core ghoul wizard, and we've got a bloodthirsty. So this is going to be a hell of a fight. I'm going to go into it in defensive stance. I'm going to keep Spellblade up, and my goal is going to be to get everything slowed and then take out the wizard first. So I'm going to start by going ahead and slowing the frenzied ghoul. And then switch to the bloodthirsty. And I will go ahead and also slow the wizard. And then I'm just going to lean into the wizard, harm touch, all that stuff. I'll hit him with some dots. I find once those guys are slowed, the wizard's my my worst enemy here with nuking me down, so. There we go. Alright, wizard's down. Bloodthirsty is the lowest level one, so let's go ahead and jump into Berserker stance, and let's get into these guys. Hit myself with some quickness. I think coming up I get the upgrade to quickness. I get a alacrity, I believe. I don't quite have it yet. This is going extremely well. It is a difficulty 0, and these are at or below my level. But this is a really hard pull, or could be a really hard pull especially if you're set up to higher difficulties where they're going to have dual classes, and you can have as many as 3 frenzied ghouls spawn there, which could be really horrifying. Or you get a ghoul and 2 high-level wizards or something like that. So see, it'd be really cool if this guy drops the belt for us. He is a level higher than us, so he is a yellow, a little bit harder to kill. I gotta remember to turn off my map when I'm actually here trying to look at a cool fight. I play a lot with the map up, and my eyes are just used to ignoring it, but I'll try to put it away sometimes. Oh, in all that moving around of my camera view and turning off my map, I also turned off my auto attack. Alright. After this guy, I'm going to make my way up to the Ghoul Lord, and oh, we got a Moonstone Ring. Right on. How does that hold up? So we've got AC 7 or Agility 7 rings. This is mana and strength. So yeah, we'll loot that. I think that can jump into this agility slot here for the platinum ring. I think that's going to be a better ring for us. I'm blind. Where did it go? Oh, it's right there. We'll see. We might get that pumped up because we're going to come through here a few times. But now I'm going to make this, it's kind of hard to see on the white background. Like once again, I'll switch the map type. So on the purple background here, we're in this room. I need to go all the way up here to the Ghoul Lord. So I'm going to make my way around. I'm going to fight things on the way. So I will probably just, I'll probably just kind of jump it to where I'm coming down this hallway after I get there. Unless I find myself having something interesting to say along the way. All right, I had to go AFK there, and I got timed out, so I had to run all the way back in here. What was cool is before I started recording, on the way in here, I actually managed to get a Guise of the Deceiver. I ran by the assassin, and he was up, and I killed him. I wasn't recording, unfortunately, but we did get one. So we can kind of play around with that, too, if we want. We already look awesome, but the Dark Elf form does give us some better vision in the dark, although we're not really having any problem here. Actually, I don't even know if that's true on EQ Legends. It seems like we all have pretty good vision for any race. That's a question I would ask if maybe it's just kind of equalized. But plate armor just looks awesome on Dark Elves anyway. So we'll run around as a Dark Elf for a minute for this next section here. So after I got timed out, I did come back in and I went ahead and set up another personal instance. And I made this one difficulty 2 because I had made level 42. And I'm wondering how that's going to go. Going into the Ghoul Lord's room here. I'm looking, after I fight this guy, you'll see when I look in there, everything in there is yellow. And Ghoul Lord's not up, I don't think. I'll double check, but I think when I ran up and peeked in there, he wasn't up. And I think we're going to have to go in with a kind of a plan. Go in maybe defensive, get everybody slowed, jump, heal up if needed, jump back to Berserker and start mowing them down one at a time. So more of a challenge at D2, but I was thinking if I'm going to try to kind of camp out some of these items, I might as well be getting them at a +2 or instead of a 0 to level them up a little bit. I know I want to get from the Ghoul Lord, I'm hoping to get some Short Swords of Akesha and combine them up enough to pull out the Akesha proc and throw that over into my two-hander. So we'll see how that goes. There was a rebalancing that came through, so a lot of all the weapons, the melee weapons got rebalanced. I don't think I talked about that yet. It's been a little while since I recorded the first part, but everything got bumped down a bit. So if you remember, the Blackened Ally Bastard Sword was like a 0.8 something ratio. It's now 0.667. So just bringing the melee damage down just a little bit of balancing across the board. But it's still better than our Ebon Scythe, which is only at 0.511 right now. So we're still going to stick with the Blackened Ally Bastard Sword, but our damage is reduced a little bit. They're just trying to figure out that balance between melee and casters and, make it all feel good. That's why we're in beta. But yeah, so here we've got a Bach Ghoul Knight, and then a Ghoul Wizard. And we're going to want to kill the Wizard first. But I'm going to start with a slow on one of the Knights. So I'm going to slow him, and then I'm going to run into the room. I'm going to start in defensive. I'll keep Spellblade up so I can possibly proc heals. I'll go ahead and hit myself with quickness before we start. I just rebuffed before I ran in here, so we should be good on that front. We'll give it a go. This is probably going to be a challenging fight. And might even die. We'll see. I am going to use Blow Harm Touch on the Wizard. He does have some buffs, so I might also hit him with the Pillage Enchantment for my sword. But let's slow this guy first. And then run in there. Oh, did the Wizard? Oh, he did come. Yeah, I want to fight in this room, so I don't... Okay, he's... Well, I did that terribly. But let's get through it. So this guy's already got our slow. We'll get on this one, get a slow. I should have committed to the run-in. For a second, I thought the Wizard actually didn't add, and then I saw his name over here on the extended targets list. I'm like, nope, that was just a bad choice. I should have gone all the way in the room. I knew he was going to root me, and instead now I've got... I'm getting stunned also here, but now I've got a guy rooted behind me and a guy rooted, guys in front of me. There we go. Back it up a little bit. Not the best play out of my plan, because then I also just moved while trying to cast. Okay. I believe everybody's slowed. This guy's not slowed. Okay, I'm not sure how I'm going to edit that out, but I did just pull, and it did just go terribly because of my own positioning. I ended up getting rooted in a weird spot and getting hit from both sides. So I feigned death. We're going to start the pull over, same plan. I may leave some of it in there. You'll hear me just go silent after a minute because I'm like, Oh, what did I do? Let's try the plan again. So what happened was I slowed the guy on the left. And I didn't look like the wizard added for a second, so I started to run around the corner here to just pull the 2 knights, and I was like, that's weird that the wizard didn't add. But if I had looked, I could see that he was casting, or he popped up on my extended targets, and he was casting, and he ended up rooting me right on the edge of this corner, so I ended up like with guys on both sides of me, and it was a mess. So main death, reset, back up to full mana. Gonna hit myself with redo my quickness. It's still at a couple minutes, but we'll refresh it. And same plan. Here we go. I'm going to do it this time and run into this corner to my left. That way if I get rooted, they're at least all in front of me. And I'm going to fight from here. Turn on auto attack. I'm in defensive stance. That guy's slowed. I'm going to hit the other knight with a slow. I hit quickness instead. Okay. Hit the other knight with a slow. Did not take. I'm going to try again. At least with all of them in front of me, it's not chunking me down as hard as it was, so. There we go, we got that guy slowed. I'm going to hit a slow on the wizard. Alright, he stunned me. No big deal. No big deal. Once I get slow on all of them, it does make the fight a hell of a lot easier. Okay, got the slow on the wizard. Gonna hit him with the pillage enchantment to get rid of his shielding. Boom, that's gone. Now I'm gonna stack dots. Oops, sorry, I hit the I hit the knight with that dot, but I want to hit the wizard with the dot. And a second dot. This is actually my stronger one, so he's all dotted up. We're going to harm touch him. Alright, we're in a pretty good spot. We've got everybody slowed. We've got a decent amount of health. I'm going to pop into Berserker stance. Hopefully finish off the wizard pretty quickly. My dots are starting to slow down. He's going to stun me again. And well, he's chain stunning, I guess, with his mana, but I just got to sneak in like one more hit and he's gone. Alright, he's down. We're on to the Ghoul Knights. May have to pop back into defensive stance and heal up a little bit. We'll see. I'll just heal while I'm in Berserker. See how it goes. Good enough. I got a proc there from my Spellblade. Little heal proc. Very nice. And last one. I fumbled a couple things in there when I miscast spells. And had to break them, and then I think I turned off auto attack from when I jumped to break a spell. But all in all, not too bad. Plan worked out. So if this were on 0, this would have been a lot easier of a fight. With the +2, they get a little stronger. On a D4, it would have been wild. I don't know that I'm strong enough to take on a bunch of yellows in difficulty 4 yet. The one big thing about this build is it's very single target focused. I don't have a lot of AoE going off, so a lot of times if you have something that has a more AoE, something with like a warrior cleave or a monk, a round kick does AoE. With those things, you can get away with pulling a little bigger because as you go through, everybody's been taking damage, so they're all kind of whittling down as you work your way through the list, which is nice. I will say I do like having the extended targets here. I have to get used to it drawing my eye, so I do appreciate, again, the suggestion. So I'm going to kind of dad camp this out for a while and just keep killing that room until I get what I need for the... Scratch that. I'm gonna make my way down to the Frenzied Ghoul area. And I think what I'm gonna do is... What did we get, by the way, from... Oh yeah, the Ghoul Lord wasn't up. So I'm gonna make my way down next to the Frenzied Ghoul, and I think I'm just gonna kind of dad camp that area while I work on some other things for a while. So I might skip through it and just show some of the kills and stuff. The goal there is to get flowing black silk sash so we get some increased haste. Right now we have the gloves that are giving us haste, but we can swap in the FBSS and that'll be more haste. So if we can get that, get it leveled up to 4, that would be the goal. And then we'll come back here and probably kind of dad camp this area too. I talked about going around and around. I think I'm going to do less of that and more of just like staying in one area and just camping out the item, because otherwise we'll out level this real fast if we're killing everything. And I do want to get those 2 items. I want to get Flowing Black Silk Sash, and I wanted the Assassin's Mask, but I got that. And then I want to get a Short Sword of Akesha up to +4, so I can pull out the Akesha proc. And then after that, we're going to jump out and head over to Soul B. All right, so I made my way here to the Frenzied Ghoul room. There's no Frenzied Ghoul currently up, so we're going to clear this one. And then either I will bounce back and forth between these 2 camps, or I will stay here and kind of dad camp this out. I'm very, very undecided about it after I ran down here. I'm thinking about it. I could probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone if I run back and forth, but also just kind of having a nice calm camp where you can kick back with a cup of coffee or something is nice too. And just sitting in the same place. And the respawns aren't too bad. So we're gonna work this one down, and unfortunately no Frenzied Ghoul, so there's no chance for the Flowing Black Silk Sash. And this time I'm just going to try to kill the strongest Dar Ghoul Knight first, and then work my way through the others, because none of them are casters, and they're a lot more dangerous to us. The Doomreaver in his secret Dark Elf form. Dark Elf swing two-hander is pretty nice as well. Like a good two-handed overhead swing. It's not too bad. Hit myself with some quickness, speed this up a little bit. So once this is clear, we'll go into some kind of repetitive thing, either jumping between the 2 camps and showing that, or just sitting here and killing this one over and over again. I want to make sure I try to catch the good kills and loots on video so we can talk about them. So that's the plan. We're kind of in the grind at this point. Just a few items and then a few levels so we can get to some more exciting things like taking on some of the big spawns, taking on the dragons, and then beyond. We've got to get through the grind first so that we can be strong enough and have a good chance of succeeding when we go do those things. People are talking about that you can do Yale in the hole as early as level 40 and get away with it on difficulty 0. The personal instance of difficulty 0 is even easier, a little bit easier than normal difficulty 0. So people have been saying you can go there as early as 40 and get away with the fight. So we may try that. We might actually try that. I don't know that I'll get to it in this episode, but maybe that's a precursor to fighting Nagafen and Vox, the dragons. We could do a little, give Yale a shot, and I've heard Finnegal is pretty easy, strips away all your buffs, but is not too bad on D0, so maybe we can knock out a couple of raid bosses. Maybe that's the, I don't know if that will be the end of this video, or if it'll be in the beginning of next video or something, but it'll definitely be something we'll do as part of the progression through all of the available game.
Doomreaver! Down in Guk, cold like water, dripping stone. Deadside halls he come to know. Fog like ghouls around each bend, stealing death without an end. From the shadow, silent grim, the assassin came for him. One quick strike and darkness fled. The guise was taken from the dead. Upon the floor, only made the black wolf more. Grinding smiled and raised his blade. Another corpse was quickly made. Again, no sash and no luck. Still he lingered deep in good. The dead side fat, both frame and gold. His countless front locks all grew cold. Spawn, kill, spawn, kill. The halls grew quiet. The dead stood still. Lord sitting on his throne, soon he'd rule those halls no more. Black Wolf came with blade in hand, death itself at his command. Short sword forging Yakisha's name, claimed at last through blood and pain. Frog Yak dead from wall to wall, the Doomreaver had slain them all. Grinding, hour by hour, grinding, grow in power, experience and trophies won. Another legend now begun. Grinding, never done. Grinding, one by one, from Gosh's sash to Yakisha's blade. The Black Wolf's legend here was made. Spawn, kill, loot, repeat. Black Wolf, Doomreaver.
All right, I am switching gears a little bit here. I'm up by the Ghoul Lord now. So I camped out at the Frenzied Ghoul camp all the way to level 45. So a few levels there. I skipped over a lot of it off camera, but in all that time, we did not get one single glowing black silk sash. So we're gonna call that a loss and move on. I want to keep leveling. I'm actually more interested in getting the Akesha proc out of the short sword of Akesha from the Ghoul Lord, so we're gonna take on that for a couple of levels before we head out of Lower Guk. If we have really bad luck, we're just gonna keep moving forward, keep moving on. We can always come back and camp this stuff later. If this wasn't on beta with a limited time right now, I'd probably try to spend a little more time on it and get the things I want to level up. However, we did see enough Frenzy Ghouls that we did get the Moonstone Ring up to +5, so it's got a pretty good set of stats here. So overall, not too bad. The extended range increases the range of all spells by 15%, which is pretty nice. It does decay on spells over level 45 because it's only a extended range 2 and not extended range 3. But that is something we can pull out and put into another ring if we want to. For now, this is still one of our better rings, so... Yep, not a single flowing black silk sash. So if I look right now, we still have the Sporalic Gloves +4, which still give us 13% haste, and that's going to be our haste for now. If we get to a point where I have time, maybe I'll come back and try harder. But again, if we can actually get to where we can take down Lady of Ox, we can probably get a Rune Bolster Belt. So here we are. We are at the Ghoul Lord again. We were here earlier, but I'm just going to stay in this area now. Probably do no more than 2 levels. So if I get to 47 and I don't have what I need, we're going to get out of here. If I can get to the short sword of Akesha to +4 and pull out the proc, that's when we'll get out of here. So those are the two keys, and we'll see what we can do. So this is going to be a heck of a fight. We've got a level 47 Ghoul Lord, we've got a level 48 Ghoul Knight, but luckily this guy's now blue. And what I'd like to do is basically what I did with the Frenzied Ghoul spawn is have one really tough fight and break up the spawn, and then after that just keep up with the broken spawn for a while. And we may get into, depending on how long this goes, I'm going to record all of it. I may not talk over all of it, but I'm going to try to capture a bunch of it, and it may end up being the montage of just killing the Ghoul Lord over and over again. We'll see what we do. And after this, we'll head over to Soul B, Nagafen's lair, and we'll do some exploring in there and some talking, and then some camping. Let's get to it. I do have the Shaman pet up. He's been really cool. I just got a new one at level 45, so he should be a little bit tougher. He's casting slows and dots, which are really cool. He's a war beast, warrior beast lord, so that's really cool. So he gets the reduced shaman stuff that beast lords get, which is helpful in these fights. So if he dies, that's okay. The goal is to kill at least one, and then we can always feign death off, recover, and come back in. But ideally, we can take all of them down. I think we're gonna start with slowing the Ghoul Lord, slowing all 3 of them, starting in defensive stance, our usual methodology. I have a superior heal now at 45, so I put that into the proc spot for Spellblade. I was running with an undead nuke in that spot for a little while I was over at the Frenzy Ghoul Camp, and that was fine too. I kind of like having the heal in a tougher fight like this, though. We got a couple other quick little upgrades. We've got Rage now, the permanent spell or permanent buff upgrade at 45 to our Strength, Dexterity, and Armor class, and we got the heal, we got Rage upgrade, and I want to say we got one other that's not coming to mind. Well, either way, we've got a couple of new cool things, and we're just stronger because we're 45. Here we go. Let's get to it. I'm gonna not make the mistake I made before and run out in here in the hallway and get rooted. I'm gonna run in there after I start with the slow on the Ghoul Lord. Hopefully it sticks. It's stuck. Very nice. I'm gonna get in the middle of the room, so I have plenty of room. Yeah, that one guy is on my pet, so I'm gonna kind of try to scoot over here so I can get on him. My pet can tank this guy for a little while, so I'm gonna let him do that while I try to get these slows out. I'm getting stunned, which sucks. Alright, my pet actually got a slow on one of those guys, so that's kind of cool. Oh, he's slowed. He's got drowsy. He's got drowsy. So pet doing that work, getting those low-level slows out there on these guys. Okay, I hit him with the higher level slow. And we will start with this Bach Ghoul Knight is where I'm going to start my fight. Actually, he already has that on him. I'm going to switch my pet over to attack the guy I'm attacking. I know the view isn't great here. There's a lot of numbers spamming on the screen, but I am rooted, so I can't move out of this spot. So I'm just going to stick with it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy with Harm Touch and get rid of him. We're going to switch to the level 48 warrior. I'm gonna hit him with some dots. Couple of heals to bump myself up here. I'm gonna switch over into recovery, and I'm gonna jump into berserker stance. Hit myself with alacrity and get some haste. I don't think alacrity's up. I should have cast it before the fight, but that's alright. Ah, okay. Alacrity looks like it doesn't cast through like the heals do. And I didn't target myself, so. Alright, taking too much damage. We did get one down, so I could feign death this whole mess off and then recover. I think I'm going to end up wanting to feign death this off and recover. We're getting low on mana. And come back at it, which is a nice option that we have. Just make sure no one's casting, so as soon as this pet's done casting. Alright, here we go. We are buffed up. We got the pet back out. I threw alacrity up on both of us. Unfortunately, we got a respawn, a core ghoul wizard, because that all took too long with the ads and stuff. So I'm gonna have to rethink if I need to break it and get away. I also realized I was attacking that Ghoul Knight, the level 48, when the Ghoul Lord himself is actually lower level. So we may take a different approach to this. I think we're still gonna try to nuke down the wizard. I'll have Harm Touch back up here in a couple minutes. It'll speed up with my Reeve procs. But we're going to start the same way. We're going to slow. I just want to make sure this guy's not going to come from behind as soon as I pull. We're going to go for it. Slowing the Ghoul Lord and running in. Alright guys, editing Sigil here. And I'm not going to lie to you, this one did not go well either. But in the aftermath and the recovery of this, I did have a realization that will carry me through the rest of my adventure. After all these levels, I finally remembered I'm a berserker, not a defender. I'm always like kind of wondering if I just stayed in berserker stance once I had things slowed on some of these pulls, would I actually work through them fast enough? That might be the case, because it's a I do a lot more damage in Berserker stance, but defensive is just feels like it's what lets me stay in the fight at all. I feel like my health's going to go down way too fast without it. So it's just kind of learning all the stances and the right times to use them. All right, so this is the plan though. Like just stay in this camp. We may end up having a very high level skull-shaped barbute because we're not going to get Akesha drops like what happened in the Frenzy Ghoul camp. And if that's it, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna live with what we get. Oh, I got an ad here. Just a blue dar. Let's get rid of this. There we go. Get rid of the higher level one. And 2. So we're going to be working through level 45. And like I said, I want to get out of here. I'm going to leave here at 47 either way, no matter what. That's going to be the plan. So I'm going to work my way through this, and I'll pop back on when we have actual Ghoul Lord fights to show. Otherwise, it's just going to be me grinding out the blues that come around here, and then the guys in the Ghoul Lord room. It's not super exciting. It's just relentless. It's just the grind right now. All right, hey guys, we are sitting at about halfway through level 47. I know I said I was going to ditch out of here at when I made 47, but I was 1 drop away from getting the short sword of Akesha. I have to say that slower. I just slur all over the words, but I was 1 drop away from getting it to +4 so that I could pull out the Akesha proc, and it happened. So I stuck around a while longer, stuck it out, see if I could get it. I didn't want to go too far into 47, end up staying here longer than I intended, but we do have a +4, which means we can pull out the proc exaltation with the Akesha proc. And I should be able to put that in my blackened alloy bastard sword. We are Shadow Knight, so even with the most limiting of things here, we should be okay. It's still a weapon. I'm hoping it doesn't get caught up on the 1-hand versus 2-hand. I've never tried that, so let's give it a go. Boom. We've got the Akesha proc now on our sword. So Blackened Alloy Bastard Sword got a little stronger. Actually, it's even going to get stronger because in the next week or so, they're actually going to revert the melee damage nerf that they did, and they're going to go in a different direction, going more with the buffing casters. So we're going to get some cool stuff that happens with casters to kind of pump up their ability to be competitive with the melee damage we had going on. So we should see this number jump back up to 0.8 something, right? Back where it was. Super excited about this. And with that, we're going to make our way over to the Lava Storm Mountains, and we're going to go to Nagafen's Lair, and we're going to get in there and kill some giants, kill some imps, whatever, find a spot and grind out as close to 50 as we can get, and then that will be the wrap up of this video. I'll probably do a bit of a grind montage over there when we get there. So a couple other things to mention real quick. We also got, I already talked about the Moonstone Ring from the Frenzied Ghoul, but we did get, if I go to my keyring equipment, we did get the helm from here, the skull-shaped barbute, all the way up to +5, and it's almost +6. It's like 1 drop away from +6. And it's pretty good stats, so it's something to think about. I may want to pull that out of the keyring here and go ahead and use it. So we never did get the Flowing Black Silk Sash to drop, but we did get the Assassin Mask, and we did get the Short Sword to drop, and we grabbed the proc. So a little more damage for us, a little bit of an upgrade. That's cool. I did notice that while I was sitting here kind of recovering and kind of killing stuff in this hallway, that the Ghoul Lord did spawn one more time. So I am going to kill him before I leave and maybe get the helm up to +6, just to see if we can. And then the other thing we need to talk about real quick are alternate advancement points. I'm already back up to 18 alternate advancement points. And I think I know what I want. I think I'm going to go with Soul Abrasion. So Soul Abrasion increases the base damage of life taps triggered by Vampiric Embrace and Scream of Death. So I'm running Scream of Death by 50%, and there's 3 levels of it. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that and just pump up my lifesteal that I get, the damage, and that by proxy, then the healing that I get from it. The other one I was considering finishing out again was the Fear Resistance here, and we'll do that we'll probably do that before we get to fighting Lady Vox. And I was also working on double riposte, which I could finish double riposte right now, but I think I'll come back to that one. And I'm going to get soul abrasion. So let's go ahead and hit it. Second level costs us 6, and then if the third one is 9, then that's perfect. We've got we'll be able to get all 3 ranks. So it's 9. We'll just finish it out. So we're at 200% damage and healing from the life taps. That automatically happen. That's a permanent buff once it goes on, and it just automatically happens in the background. That's going to be huge, and I'm wondering how much it'll impact the ability to pull superior healing off of that Spellblade slot and put something else on there. So one more thing I should talk about is this pet. The Shaman pet is absolutely amazing. He is a war beast, and he is doing slows. He is doing... So there was an upgrade to it at level 45, and that level 45 one is casting slows on things that aren't already slowed. It's a lower level slow, but he's still casting slows. He's casting dots. He's healing. I think he even hit me with like a greater heal at one point. Amazing pet. A lot more... ability to stay in the fight. He can actually tank one of these guys for a while compared to the Shadow Knight pet. As big a fan as I am of the little buddy for the Shadow Knight, he hasn't been super useful, and I've just been getting him killed over and over again. But during this whole session of grinding out the Ghoul Lord, I have been sticking with this Shaman pet, and it's been pretty amazing. I'm actually going to shrink myself one time. I just logged back in recently after a break. And we'll go ahead and take down the Ghoul Lord one more time and then head out of here. Now we'll probably have the luck that we actually get the short sword again. Rather than this time I just want the helm so I can bump it over into +6, but we'll end up with the short sword instead. So harm touch right now is doing really good damage. It's up to harm touch 10. So it's been dealing in the range of 2 to 4k damage. 4k might be a crit, and I didn't look too closely at it, but it was quite a bit of damage. So when that comes back up, we should be able to see, yeah, here, you can see that's a huge chunk of his health. And if I scroll back, I can see it's scrolling too fast. 4,279 damage, so that's pretty considerable. And it's up with Reeve proccing and reducing the cooldown on it. It's up about every, I don't know, what would I say, 4.5 minutes? I haven't done the math on it yet, but it feels like that's about right if you figure out the math. I'm sure someone out there has a whole video on how Reeve and Smite affect the lay on hands and harm touch. And I'm also down to do that eventually. I'm not going to dig too deep into math at this point. I mean, we're in beta and this stuff is changing constantly, and I'm not interested enough to do that. I'm going a little bit by, does it feel like it's working? Does it feel good? And then looking for bugs. So if I see something looks bugged, there is actually a bug with harm touch right now, is the fact that it's putting a debuff on them that ticks for some damage over the next few ticks. It's much lower damage than the initial hit, but it's not supposed to do that. So that bug's already been reported and is known. All right, what's cool is we got to the skull-shaped barbute. So we now have a +6 helm. So maybe I should take a good look at these here. So I'm going to throw it on and just see if it looks okay. Because part of what we're doing is trying to look cool here. So the red helm looks cool. Silver helm's not bad, but let's pop both of these up and put them side by side. So higher AC for the skull-shaped barbute. We get hit points instead of intelligence. And we get some save magic, but we also get all these other saves here from Darkforge. I think the Darkforge edges it out still. So I'm going to stick with the Darkforge helm and you know, it also has the looking good, you know, going for it with this whole Darkforge outfit. So we'll stick with it. But this is very cool. We can stick this if we're not playing a Shadow Knight. You know, we've got a nice plate helm for some other build. I'm just going to throw all this rubicite stuff in here too. Keep the breastplate out. I might end up wanting to use it. And we can go ahead and throw the short sword in there too. And the pristine leather. Okay. So that's what we got going on. We still have 10 slots before we have to get in here and actually do some cleanup of the equipment slots. And I guess I have a few things here I could throw in. Enamel black mace and Minotaur battle axes. The pet's still using... I could look at what I have for weapons in here and maybe upgrade what the pet's using here, but these are pretty good so far. So okay, here we are. Looking good. We had some success down here in Lower Guk. We, like I said, we didn't get the flowing black silk sash, but we got everything else we came for. We've got our... Still looking good in the Dark Forge. And of course we picked up the Guise of the Deceiver. So we can have that awesome dark elf plate look if we want it. Very nice. We're going to head out of Guk. I'm going to head out of Guk. I'm just going to gate out to Freeport. And run my way up to Lava Storm. And we'll pick it up there. Alright, I ran my way up to the Lava Storm Mountains. And you can see we're back here at Seleucic's Eye. Across the way there is the Temple of Seleucic Row, where we went to do the Dark Forge Armor Quest turn-ins. Kind of over there is Seleucic A, Seleucic's Eye, dungeon, where we went in to fight the gnomes. And here is the entrance to Sol B, Nagafen's Lair. So we're going to head into Nagafen's Lair, and I think we're going to start by kind of heading towards the Afridi Lord. And over there's a bunch of imps, and I believe those imps are going to be good experience for us. We're going to find out as we get started here. I'm going to kick this off by just making a D0 personal instance, so I'm not running over other people in here. We just recently got the ability to create personal instances in Sol B, because previously... Our problem, I need to switch back to Brul's maps, is that Nagafen was in here, so you couldn't create a personal instance. It kind of conflicted with the raid instance. So what they did is now when you create a personal instance, you don't have Nagafen, you don't have some of the named giants up at the end, is how I understand it works. I haven't been in here to check, but that's what I understand. So I can make a personal instance, I can do everything else in here. But if I want to fight Nagafen, I would need to create a raid instance, a D0 raid instance of Nagafen, and then I get Nagafen and some of the surrounding giants. Now, I don't know if that means like none of the giants are up over here, so like the Magi and such, but... Or King Tranix, the Warlords. I don't know what all is up as far as that goes, but we'll probably get to exploring that at some point here. I am going to go after, next video, I believe I'll be going after Nagafen, hopefully. Assuming I'm strong enough. I know some people have done it at like my level already. I'm gonna get a little further along. I want to get up to... I want to get to 50. I don't know if I'll make it in this video, but we're going to give it a shot. We have 2.5 levels, less than 2.5 levels to go. I think we can do it. It just extends the delay on when I get this video out, so I'm trying to... move a little quicker. Alright, so let's make a personal instance. And head into... Turn off NPC respawning. Turn off disable NPC respawning, because I want the respawns. And I'm just going to leave it at 0. I still have my instance open from Guk, because it hasn't been long enough. Okay, let me exit this. And it looks like I don't have a cooldown, because I was in there long enough that I didn't incur the cooldown. I've already gone past the cooldown time, so that's good. So hopefully we can make it. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we are in our personal D0 instance. We are going to... So we are at the entrance from Lava Storm Mountains right now. I'm going to go ahead and shrink real quick. I memorized invisibility instead of invised undead. We can get around a little better. And once we get to where we're going, we'll summon out our pet and keep him up during the grind session. So we're going to... I think the fastest way... We want to head over here towards the Afridi Lord and just kind of be in this area. We don't want to come into this big lava pool here. I think it's very difficult to get out of the lava here. But what I'm going to do is come around, swim through some of this lava, and come down here and come around this way. I think that will be our best way to get over to this area. There are a lot of imps. There are spiders over here. There are the sonic bats, which are a pain with their stuns, but we're going to make our way past all that, get into this area, and then this is going to, assuming the imps are a good level for us, that's going to be a good grind area for us. So I'm going to throw up, I'm going to throw Invis on me, and we're going to give it a shot. Been a while since I've been in Soul B. We'll give it a go. I do have fire resistance. Oh, I don't have it on because I looks like everything wore off while I was offline. Well, I probably should have it on for swimming through lava, but that's okay. And I'm just going to fight these bats as I come across them, because otherwise you end up with like too many of them on you. And it's a real pain in the ass because they stun you. So I've already got 2 on me, and I'm just gonna kind of, anything that would see invis, I'm just gonna fight along the way, clear my way all the way into there. So we'll have this one. Looks like there's a bat right there that we're gonna have to fight. We'll get to this little ledge here, and we'll make our way in. I need to be careful because sometimes you can end up accidentally aggroing the imps too early when you're not ready to fight them yet. And if you get the imps that are kind of throughout here, you can get a whole bunch of them coming. So here's the imp protectors on the map. Yeah, there's that stun. Interesting too. Stuff is going to run because they're not undead. So I will need to put, I don't think I have, yeah, I don't have the my snare on my bar right now, but I'm going to have to put that back on the bar. Why am I not hitting this guy? There it goes. Oh, I don't have any of my buffs either, so that's not helping. Alright, let's get ourselves out of this fight as soon as we can and get buffed up. I didn't think about buffs when I jumped in the lava at first. I was thinking I was still fully buffed, but everything has worn off. So I'll kill this guy. Hopefully I don't have to chase him too far, and we don't aggro anything else. But there's that stun. Ugh, so annoying. In fact, I'll try to throw on my dot on him. So even if he runs, he's just ticking down. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let me clean this up real quick. I'm gonna rebuff, and then I will pick it up from there. All right, we are buffed back up. I've got the fight set back up here, the combat set. I put in Dooming Darkness, so I have a snare, and I put it here where I had my other damage over time before. I'll have the ability to snare things as needed. Okay, this guy attacked. More than one on me? Huh, I was able to target a second one. I'm not sure where he's at. Only one on the extended target, so. Because I can't hit them from here, can't see my target. Let's try to get him a little more up on the... There we go, now we're swinging. Can't hit them from here. Alright, we're going to go swim across here and go this way a little bit. There he is. Okay, there we go, now we're hitting him. Just kind of stuck in the floor back there or something. Whatever. No big deal. That's also like since I'm barbarian, I'm shrunk right now, but if not, you can't really fit under there, which is kind of hilarious. Like, makes you duck and then you can't fight in there, so it's funny. Alright, heading on. We need to swim some more, and we're going to come right up into Lava Guardians, Imp Protector. And this Imp Protector is yellow. That's kind of exciting for us, like, for getting experience. So let's give it a go. Worst case, I just straight up die on my way and teleport back. Dipped off on this little side thing here, so we'll get this lava beetle down. Alright, here we go. Actually, I'm going to go back to the solid land back here. Sorry about that camera view, that was crazy. Alright, let's get some slows up. First on the Lava Guardian, And then on the Imp Protector. So we're going to be looking at these imps for a while. That's my plan anyway, is to kill the imps in here, make my way into the Afridi Lord, and just kind of do this for a while. I'm not sure how hard the Afridi Lord's going to be for us. That's why I'm starting off on D0, but we'll sort that out as we go. Once I'm across this lava and over here, I'll go ahead and bring up the pet. I just didn't want to deal with weird pet pathing. Oh, I do have a lava beetle behind me also. Let's just back up and get everybody in front of me. I didn't want to deal with crazy pet pathing across the lava, so I just decided just to hold off on them. All right, what do we have? Ash root, a burnt sash, which is a quest, so we'll grab one. And we'll just auto sell these others. Apparently I turned off auto attack. Okay. Harm touch that guy. Back to just the guardian. So these aren't too bad. But these are blue, so there is a yellow imp that's running around, and I'm really wondering how hard he's going to be. Like, that guy shows as yellow, and I think there's one that even paths further. And I don't know this area well enough at this point. It's been years since I really camped in here. I don't really know it well enough to know where a good camp spot is, so I'm going to do the usual, like, oh. This is what happens when you talk and don't look at your health. Yeah. So let me fix all that and get back down there, and I'll pay more attention this time. I got to looking at the map, trying to think of where to camp in here. All right, we're back. Made it into the area where the spiders were, and got my pet back up, and we're all buffed up. A little low on health and mana when we got here. I actually pulled the guys from across the way there, the Imp Protector and a couple of the Fire Guardian guys. I threw Nullify Magic up on my spell list here for a fight list, so I could dispel the fire buff, basically the damage shield that the Fire Guardians have on them. We were beating ourselves up against those damage shields, so. Right where we are, there are two spiders that spawn, one kind of here, and then one up a little ways that roams into us. But they're both coming up light blue. Still worth experience, but light blue, so we don't have to worry too much about them. So I think this is a good spot to come back and kind of rest when needed. I mean, there may be something up further that is even better as far as, like, there's no spawn up here, but I think that roamer goes all the way up there. We did kill the guys across the way, and I think we're going to go check it out. See what we're looking at over here, and ideally find a place over here that we can safely rest, or maybe up further. We'll sort it out. So this guy's yellow. He's at 48. That's awesome. Going to be great for experience for probably all the way up to 50 if we want. And a 44. I think we'll probably get both of those together. These two just died. They're the ones that are down here on the corner, so we should be safe from those. So I think I can, as soon as I get full mana, I'm going to go ahead and pull this Imp Protector up here. Stay in Berserker, Spellblade. I'll pull with Slow. He has no buffs on him. And we'll get after it. I think I'll probably get both of them, but that's okay. If I can get an angle on him to actually cast Slow. Probably end up pulling him by proximity before I can ever get to where I can see him to do Slow, but here we go. Here we go. So let me cast now. Oh, well, I ran up too soon, and we're going to get him anyway, so here we go. My pet's over there taking the blue one, so we'll deal with that in a second. All right, we got Slow up. Oh, we end up with 2 yellows and a blue. This might be getting a little extreme. Let's see if I can save the pet here, though. If I slip in between here, maybe they'll hit me in. Okay, that's too much. Not going to take on 4 right now, so let me come back over here. I will feign death. And I will get Gonorab out of there. Hopefully they do not follow. Yeah, they didn't follow. All right, tough spot to break into, but that's going to be the plan, is to break into there. Maybe what I'll need to do is pull and come back down the hallway a bit. Maybe even all the way back over to this platform. This does I'm still in combat with 1 Imp Protector, so hopefully I see a sonic bat moving around. Yeah, I don't see them moving, so I think we're okay. I think it's I don't think he's still aggro. Nope, they're coming. Okay. Woo. I was wrong. There's a bunch of them right there. I'll have to figure out how to break this. If we can't break this yet, if I need another level or whatever, then I can still pull the guys from straight ahead. I can pull the spiders where I'm sitting right now. I can even pull sonic bats if I want to. But I think this is going to be a really good experience camp for us. So I'm going to work at this a little bit. It's just going to be a lot of me kind of running in, trying and feigning death over and over again to try to sort out the best way to break it. But I'll check back in with you guys once I kind of have it sorted and I can talk through, what the plan is once we're up here and we can kind of explore the rest of this area. Otherwise, you're just going to watch me jump across these stepping stones over and over again. All right, I've done a little bit of exploring. Actually, made it up to level 48. I dinged over to level 48, just kind of starting to figure this place out. And I kind of got through those early guys that I was getting swamped by before. But what I found is, so I came from down here. This was the little stones I had to cross in the lava. And I was kind of getting swarmed down there by these imp protectors and the other guys, the little fire elemental guys. I was able to kind of clear things up, feign death everything off, get in here with an invis and reset a little bit. And I made my way in past those initial mobs and kind of to this little ramp here to the side. Now, it's not perfectly safe, but it's pretty good. I can kind of control spawns coming from both ways. There is one guy that paths through here, so I have to deal with him. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to go up into here. We're going to clear out these guys, and we're going to clear into the Afridi Lord Dejarn's room. And we're going to kind of just camp this area for a little bit. This is going to be the plan. And I'm going to try to take that probably all the way up to at least 49, at least one more level. Maybe all the way to 50. And then I want to finish out with heading over and checking out the giants kind of near Nagafen's lair. And that will probably wrap up this video. And the next video, we're going to look at taking, assuming that all goes well, next video, we're going to look at taking down some bosses, some raid mobs. So we've got Yale in the hole. We've got Finnegal Atropos in Kedge Keep. We've got Nagafen here in Nagafen's lair. And we've got Lady Vox over in Everfrost, or Permafrost. So that's going to be the plan, probably in that order as well. I think that's the best order to tackle them. So, this might be too much. Let's see. So that's going to kind of be the plan. So what I'm going to do is probably put another kind of leveling montage on here. So I likely ran some kind of montage already in Guk, and I think you're going to get a bonus second one here because, again, the whole goal of this video after Guk, after getting a couple of the loots that we wanted, and we didn't get all of them we wanted, is just getting to level 50, just cranking out. This is the grind video, and I probably would have extended this if we had a little more time left in the in this version of beta, but that's all right. There's going to be so much more coming. We've got the next open beta coming on July 1st for a few weeks, and then we just actually go into early access. In early access, I've got some plans for what I want to do there. I don't... we may revisit the whole Doomreaver idea. I do love that build, and honestly, if I ever play Shaman Shadow Knight Berserker, it's going to be called the Doomreaver. I've got some ideas for other cool adventures we can try out, too, so we're not going to lose much. Alright, but back here to the Doomreaver himself. We are smashing our way through some imps. We've got imps, we've got fire elementals, we've got an Afridi Lord we want to try to take down, although I'm not sure I need any loot from him. This is just a cool place to camp. We're going to take down some fire giants, and it's going to be freaking awesome. And that's going to put us in a position to really start conquering some things. And in fact, at 46, we were high enough level to go into the Plane of Fear and the Plane of Hate, and also the Plane of Sky if we wanted to. And I think we'll make a little foray. we'll make some forays into hate and fear, at least to farm up or to kind of camp out some of the trash mobs and try to get some of that loot. I think we'll be able to, with maybe a little tweaking, maybe a little strategy, we should be able to take down the raid bosses on difficulty 0 already. We may need to start looking at, like, if we hit a wall there, we'll start looking at what gear we need to go pick up and do, and I'll probably do a lot of that kind of off camera or just quickly on camera to kind of recap like what's changed, because I want to kind of get through it. But super cool. This character has turned out to be everything I hoped he'd be. I figured he would be a big two-hander swinging, you know, fast swinging two-hander with a berserker stance with alacrity. These things, that's exactly what I want. Like, once I throw on alacrity here, assuming I'm not any kind of slowed, I know some of my buffs are starting to fade too, but you'll see he's just kind of continuously swinging and moving that big two-handed sword, which is awesome. And that's what I was trying to build. I think an AoE build, this is not, but the fact that I can just stay in the fight and just mow down one at a time is amazing. And one thing I did really learn, and I kind of knew this already with the character. I'm going to redo buffs here while I'm talking. One thing I did kind of learn with the character is I really need to trust in my offensive ability. I often go into defensive stance and try to heal and work my way through, and nothing really dies. And those are the times that I find I get worn down and get killed, right, in the long fights. But usually, if I just trust that I'm going to dish out a lot of damage, and I'm pretty resilient, even in Berserker stance, I usually win those fights. Just now when those 3 guys came, I was tempted to jump into, on the ramp here, I was tempted to jump into defensive stance and just kind of try to whittle one of them down and survive and, you know, grind my way through. But the real answer was stay in Berserker stance, throw some heals on myself while I'm just dishing out tons of single target damage. You know, pop the harm touch on one of them to take him out and all that stuff. So one thing to think about is if you're building a very offensive build, like trust in that. Trust that you've you know, that you can put out the damage to take them down before they take you down. So the best defense is a good offense, I guess, in this case. All right, we are rebuffed. Let me throw the fight spell slot back up. I didn't actually look at what I get at 48, so let's take a look at what I get at 48 here. What do we get? Fear of Pain, so looks like a fast casting direct damage spell from the Shaman. Get rid of disease. We've got a new dexterity buff, which we'll throw on the buff rotation next time. We've got Malosi, which is going to be important to getting our spells to land on the dragons. So we will be moving that into the combat list here soon. And then we've got more good stuff coming up. Because when it comes to the fights with dragons, with big bosses like that, it's gonna really be important for us to be able to get that slow on them. If we can get them slowed, and then we can outlast whatever magic damage they do with maybe with Mage Hunter or with some kind of healing. Although again, maybe I just need to trust in my offense. Then that should be the way that we can pull off a victory, right? Like it just kind of outlast the stuff that we can't affect with slow, and then with the slow and our offensive ability, we should be able to just tear them apart. So, right, this is going to be the plan. I think I will only. I'm going to pull these guys down here next now that I'm all set up, and just keep moving around in here. There's kind of a place. So this is where the Afridi Lord can spawn. There's kind of this place like right here that I can kind of sit and swap out for buffs and stuff that avoids most aggro, although there's one guy that kind of pats over here that would see you over there. But just other than that one guy, it's a pretty safe spot. The other spot is just around this corner, right down here. So you can kind of sit here, and there's one guy that pats down here. There's no perfectly safe spot here. There's no place to like AFK. Walk away to do something, so I have to be careful with that. I'll make sure keep up invis. These guys don't see invis, so I can always invis and do what I need to do. But for now, this is the plan. And I think that's going to lead us into a bit of a leveling montage, and we're just going to push, man. We're going to get this moving. Like I said, not a ton of loot to chase in here, but we are chasing levels. So let's do that and see where we end up. I may break into the montage if the Afridi Lord pops, just to kind of show that fight and see if we get any cool loot from him or whatever. But you know, he's the named spawn over here, so we'll want to show that, and then we'll go check out some fire giants, and then that's where we'll wrap it up. All right, I said I was going to hop back in if the Afridi Lord spawned, and on my first round of repops, I get the Afridi Lord. So we probably didn't even actually dip into the montage yet, even though I just said we would. Or maybe I edited that part out, but I had said we're going to jump into a leveling montage and jump in if the Afridi Lord spawns, but here he is. So he's around the corner there. We're going to give that a go. We're still pretty well buffed up. I'm going to throw Alacrity on myself and my pet. We're going to get this guy right now when he pats down to us. But luckily it doesn't aggro through the wall, so we'll be able to get the Afridi Lord in there solo. I just re-cleared everything behind us on this little ledge, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. I think there might be one more roamer that might respawn during the fight, but I think we're just going to go for it anyway. So the Afridi Lord is yellow. So we're going to jump in and see what happens. I suppose I've had resist disease and poison on my buff list for a little while because I was in fighting undead frogs. But I suppose I should throw up resist fire here instead. Why don't I just do that real quick? Let me grab resist fire. What aren't we going to use here? I haven't actually been using Stoicism, so I'll just throw it in there real quick. I'll buff myself, and I'll buff Quebectic, my trusty Spirit Wolf. Spirit Wolf's a good companion for the Black Wolf, I think. That's alright. Alright, we've got some fire resistance on us now. I will go ahead and actually shrink real quick because I can't remember if the ceiling is lower in there. Okay, here we go. We're going to go in. We're going to get ourselves an Afridi Lord. And there he frickin' is. Awesome. The pathing in here is a little bit wonky for pets, but so far not terrible. I've definitely seen worse. I'm fizzling my shock of venom. That's crazy. Alright, so he's got greater shielding and fire elemental aura, so we're going to try to strip those away with our pillage enchantment. He's a 50 wizard, but we're tearing him up. Okay, so we got rid of his debuffs. I've got slow up on him, so that was the important part. See, I'm not landing my, well, my pet landed his damage over time, but I can't land my poison one. And that's because he's level 50, his resists are higher. And that's where we're going to really want that Mallow spell line to come in, hit them with that to bring down their resists, and then stack up my damage on them. All right, Golden Afridi boots, a much sought after item in many early versions of Everquest. I don't need them for this build, but I will stash them away in case I want them for a future build. So not bad at all. That actually gives me some hope for. I know fire giants hit a lot harder, but I was wondering how difficult they would actually be. They're going to be harder than that, but that wasn't bad at all. I didn't even hard cast a heal in there, and it's because I got the slow. So if you can get the slow, it makes a big difference. So a lot of what we do when we're taking on the bigger targets is going to be surviving until we get the slow and then pushing the damage, I think. We're going to have to feel that out. I'll probably go through several iterations of sorting out. You know, here's attempt number 1, attempt number 2, attempt number 45. But we'll get there. So very cool. We got some Golden Afridi boots. Nothing that we were going to use on this build, but could be cool if I mess around with a different build. Although again, with the wipe coming, it's probably kind of a moot point. And I'm going to continue on. So if we'd already started a montage, welcome back to the montage. If we hadn't started it yet, then here we go.
Wolf, Doomreaver, relentless. Kazik too broken, left behind. Across the swamp, look on his mind. No feast, no rest, no victory song. The road ahead was far too long. Down below where shadows creep into Guk's forgotten deep. Rotting ruin, wet and mold. Ancient halls and ghouls so cold. From the darkness came their cries. Hungry mouths and hollow eyes. Yeah, every ghoul that barred the way was swept aside that very day. Relentless, the black wolf comes again. Relentless, the Doom Reaver, unstoppable. Relentless, through death and darkness, golden flame. Ancient ghouls learn to fear his name. The Ghoul Lord ruled from rotted stone, sitting complacent upon his throne. The assassin watched from hidden shade, waiting where the shadows stayed. Frenzy, ghoul, hunger, claws, and hate, but none escaped their relentless fate. Steel flash, bright to crypt and hall. One by one they came to fall. No kingdom buried in the murk could halt the Doom Leaver's work. The dead grew silent as they did fall. Black Wolf came and crushed them all. Relentless, the Black Wolf comes again. Relentless, the Doom Reaver, unstoppable. Relentless, through death and darkness, golden flame. The dead all learn to fear his name. Deeper still, death does call. Past the crypts, beyond it all. Stone gateway to burning skies, ash and smoke and molten light. Gifts of fire, giants tall, none could make the Black Wolf fall. Heat and fury, flame and pain, the Doom Weaver marches again. Relentless, the Black Wolf comes again. Relentless, the Doom Weaver, unstoppable. Relentless, through crypt and cavern, ash and flame, the living and dead now know his name. Come God below, choose fire above. No end, no rest, he is relentless.
All right, so I went exploring a little bit. I made it up to, what am I, 49.7-ish, about 69% through 49. Nice. And I decided to go exploring for a little bit and swam over here to find some fire giants. It's hard to get an angle where I can see the top of their heads because they're so tall, but we are going to wrap up, I think, with fire giants. Now, I think these guys have a really long respawn, and I'm killing them on just public D0. But I'll go kill some fire giants. I've got 30% to make. That guy was worth 1.5%. So we'll do a little kill as many of these as we can. This is fun. I wondered how hard they would actually hit me, but they're actually not too bad. So we're even level. It's not too bad. I'm going to make my way through here a little bit, fight some of these fire giants, and see how that goes. In all of that grinding over there, up to, you know, most of the way through 49, I only got one more Afridi spawn, and I got another pair of boots, so I just combined those in. It was pretty amazing that our first respawn there, we got an Afridi right away. So that was kind of cool. But this is, we'll be coming back through here. So actually, let me show you this. So if I come in here on whatever difficulty, there's this voidling here, and this is who I'll talk to make my own personal raid instance, so that I can go in and actually take on Nagafen. So I'll make a D0 raid instance, and then I can come up here, clear out all the fire giants and bosses, and head into Nagafen when I'm ready for that. So right now, in the public zone, difficulty 0, there are no bosses up here. So you can see there's no King Tranix and around the corner. Like, all the bosses up here are only in the raid instance. But the regular fire giants are up here, so I'll go ahead and fight these guys. And when we come through the raid instance, you know, I'll walk through clearing those guys out, clearing out all these rooms. Oh, this guy's wanted to come from a mile away to fight my pet, I guess. That's all right. So when we do launch the raid instance, once we get to 50 here, honestly, I could launch it now, but I'm just want to finish out the grind to 50, and then after that, we're just working on gear and achieving our goals. No more leveling at that point, although we'll continue to gain experience for AAs. Overall, alternate advancement is actually will run a little faster because it's just you get a certain amount per kill, is my understanding. So it actually the word on the street is that it runs a lot faster just by creating another low level setup and just re-leveling. You're going to get a lot faster than just grinding them out at 50. So I think when we get into early access, when we get into real, when the game is truly released, if that stays true, then I'll level one setup all the way to 50, and then what I'll probably do is just swap in one class at a time and drive them up to 50 also. Subject to change, because you also have to do what's fun. I'm not going to approach this super scientifically. If you want to go full efficiency, you have to jump over to Skeletane's channel. That guy is often talking about the most efficient way to do a thing. I'm not going to be quite as structured about it, but a good plan would be to just swap in one class at a time. That way you have your maximum number of times to run from 10 to 50, and you get a lot of AA points. I think at some point you would basically not need any more. You would just kind of, other than maybe class stuff for specific classes, but for the first couple, it might make sense to really pump up all of your base abilities, that carry across all the different classes. Have to think about it. I'm still undecided on what to play when we go to early access. I have really liked this Doomreaver build, and this will be in my back pocket as a potential. He's freaking awesome. I love the look. I love the idea. The lore behind him, the metal music, the dark forged armor, just building that whole idea of the Doomreaver. But I like a lot of things. I'm interested in a lot of things, so we'll see what we end up with. I have some ideas, and after we get this to where we want it, I might talk about some of those ideas. Maybe in that public open beta coming up with there would be giants all down in here, and none of these are spawned all the way up to Nagafen's Lair itself. So maybe when we're in the public open beta here in a couple weeks, I'll play around with some ideas and kind of do some discussions, talk about what's changing. And then once we get closer to release or early access, I will probably start doing some patch note updates, although I don't really want to just sit here and read the patch notes, but I might be able to maybe summarize some of the high points. I think it'd be good. It's also good. I mean, I sit there and read them anyway to myself and kind of try to understand what's going on with things, so offering my opinion for those that want it might be cool. Okay, I fell in the lava like a dum-dum. I was coming back to pull this switch. So I have 22% left on the level. I don't think these giants will, I think they're a very long respawn unless I flip over into D1, D2, whatever. But super cool. We got to kill some fire giants. Like I said, when we come back in here to approach Nagafen himself, we are going to get a definite base full of fire giants to fight. So there'll be plenty more to come. I love how the fire pots are gigantic because they're fire giant fire pots. So I'm going to find some more things to fight. I'm going to push through that last 22%. Make that big level 50. I don't know that I want spiders screaming at me for the next half hour, but this is what's here right now, so I'll go and fight them. We'll check back here shortly. I'll likely capture that level 50 ding on video here. Flip over to it when I get within a kill or so. Let me grind out a little bit more. We'll get to level 50. We'll all cheer. And then we'll talk about what's next. Talk about what's next. Maybe we'll launch a raid instance and at least fight our way in to have a peek. Just a little peek at old Nagafen.
Sigil! Doomreaver! Sigil! Blood in the snow!
Hey everybody, Sigil here. Hopefully you're enjoying the adventures of the Doomreaver. We are in the end game now. If you'd like to see more, make sure you hit those YouTube buttons so you can be alerted when the next one comes out, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.
Born where the ice winds cut like knives.